minor technical issues, folks. Minor technical issues. Anyways, we're here. We are live on, just about a million different places. We're live on Instagram. We are live on my personal Facebook. We are live on Twitch, on YouTube, and in the Ditching the 9-to-5 VA learning community. And if you're not part of that, let me welcome you real quick. My name is Rayla. I am the host of Ditching the 9-to-5, and I created this community for everyone to have a fun, safe, and engaging place to get your shit together, ditch the 9-to-5, and live the life that you want to live. Now, with that being said, we have all of those lives going on at one time. So if you guys want me to be able to see who is chatting with me, who is commenting, because I can see all of the comments, all of the chats, you guys need to go to chat.restream.io/FB. If you guys go there, you guys can give Restream permission just to see your name so I know who I'm talking to. Totally fine for everything to be anonymous, but if you want me to be able to know who is talking to me, you need to go there. All right. Now, with that being said, today we are talking about the do's and don'ts of your VA Instagram. Now, this is going to be catered towards virtual assistants, freelancers, social media managers, everyone who falls into that realm. But if you're watching and you have a business, you are an influencer, you are a sticker creator, you make candles, you have any kind of company, really any kind of business that is on Instagram, you can still learn a lot from this video, and I hope that you do. Now, before we get started, if you are new to these videos, if you're new to the VA learning community, please drop in the comments who you are, why you're looking to ditch the 9-to-5, and introduce yourself to the class. I'm sure we would all love to meet you. And if you're catching this on the replay, drop a hashtag replay below so I can come back and say hello. Now, with that being said, I think the first thing to talk about when it comes to having an Instagram for your business is, should you have an Instagram for your business in the first place? Because it is not a everyone needs an Instagram kind of thing. It really depends on who you're trying to target. Now, I had a long discussion with somebody last night about, should you have to niche down when it comes to being a virtual assistant, a freelancer, or a social media manager? And what she meant is, do I have to pick one kind of person to work with and only work with those people? Do I have to say that I am a VA only for photographers, or I'm a VA only for makeup artists, and those are the only clients that I can have? And here's what I told her. You do not have to be a VA only for one kind of industry. Yes, some people will tell you, especially coaches, that you have to niche down and only serve that community. Now, what I say is that you don't necessarily need to do that, but you do need to have a niche. You need to have a target market. You need to have an ideal client. The reason why is because that ideal client or target market is going to help you make all of your future decisions. If you don't have someone in mind, it can be very, very hard to make these kind of decisions. Let me take this off because this is what's throwing off my virtual background. I am not really in a cafe right now. But if you do not have someone in mind, it's going to be 10 times harder to make those kind of decisions. Now, for the longest time, I was telling all of you, it's like playing hide and seek without knowing who you're playing with. But recently, I came up with another example of how you can understand that not having an ideal client or a target market can really make things harder. And it has to do with the holidays. I know that we've already passed the holidays, but I'm still in the holiday spirit. So if you've ever done Secret Santa before, you know that there's two ways that you can do Secret Santa, right? There's one way where you get assigned a particular person, usually that you're working with, sometimes friends do it or family, but you get assigned a particular person and you have to go out and in secret buy them a gift, right? Then you have another kind of Secret Santa where you just have to buy a gift and then it gets given to somebody at random. I have to admit, I always hated that kind of Secret Santa. And the reason being is because it's 10 times harder to buy that gift, right? If you have someone in mind, it's really easy, or at least easier, to make them happy and to buy something that is going to make them happy. It's going to please them. When you're doing Secret Santa the other way, you're buying blind. You are trying to figure out something to make someone happy, but you have no one in mind, kind of like your business. If you have no one in mind when you're making business decisions, such as where should I market my services, or what colors should I have in my branding, what kind of pricing should I do, what kind of services should I do, it's a really hard decision because you have no one in mind that you are trying to attract, that you are trying to make happy, that you are trying to get to buy your services. If you have someone in mind, it's 10 times easier. So if you do not know who your ideal client is, don't just jump the gun and go straight to Instagram, because I'll tell you one thing right now. If your ideal client is someone that is older than 20s, 30s, they might not really even be on Instagram. They might be on Instagram, but they're not really looking there. That's not the social media platform that they're spending every day on. They're probably spending more of their time on Facebook and maybe even LinkedIn. So you making a VA Instagram, if that's who you want to target, might not really work. And I hope that makes sense. But be sure that you're keeping that in mind when you're thinking, oh, what do I post on my VA Instagram? You might not need one in the first place. Now, when it comes to your Instagram, the next thing that you want to make sure that you are doing is you want to make sure that your bio is short, sweet, but informative. Okay. You want it to be to the point. Tell people who you are and what you do. How can you help them? A lot of people like to add an I help statement. I help blank, do blank. What do you do? Depending on your services, that can vary. If you decided that you want to mainly do podcast management, you can say, I help influencers and creatives take their podcasts to the next level. That'd be a really good one. You could talk a bit about yourself, say I'm a mom of 3 and I help businesses take their podcasts to the next level. Something like that. You also want to make sure that you have a link in bio site. Now, a lot of people just link straight to your website. And here's why I don't think that that's a good idea, really, for any of your social media bios. Number one, most people that are doing that are going to be surfing from their mobile device. They're not really going to be doing it from a desktop. Yes, it does happen, but more often than not, it's going to be mobile. The next thing is that I always tell people you need to make it as easy as possible. And if you take yourself to your desktop website, that's probably going to have a lot of information. You have a ton of things going on there, which is not a bad thing when it comes to desktop. When it comes to mobile, however, you want to have things be very easy access. So the link in bio websites, the link trees, the milkshakes, any of those are all different apps to make the link in bio websites, by the way. You need to make one and then have all of your common CTA or calls to action in there. So you could have one like book a call with me, my reviews. You could have one with all of your pricing. You could have one with your past work. You could have, one with your different social media channels if they just wanted to check that out. For us, we have a mini site and I have a few different sections to the mini site. I have one with recommended resources that I talk about all the time in our lives and on all of our different platforms so that people can go check them out. I have a section for hiring a VA for all of our potential clients. I have a section for becoming a VA so that everyone can see, okay, we do mentoring sessions, we have the crash course, we do lives, all of those different things. You need to sit down and figure out, okay, what are my calls to action? What are the things that people would want to see quickly? And put that into your mini site. And for your mini site, you really don't need to be paying anything for it because you can create it for absolute free on Canva and then use a URL shortener. I personally like bit.ly. It's bit.ly. I like to use them. It's absolutely free and it works really well to make a little pretty link so that you don't have this huge jumbled mess of a Canva share link. So, bio. Make sure we're on Instagram and that we should be on Instagram. And then we need to configure our bio. Now, the moment that we've probably all been waiting for, because this is the question that I get all of the time, which is, what do I post? What do I post on my VA Instagram or my small business Instagram? And what are people actually going to care about and engage with? Well, let me preface this by saying that there is no secret sauce here, okay? You need to have different content pillars. Probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see VAs, social media managers, freelancers, and just businesses in general making on platforms like Instagram is only promoting. All they ever post about is what they do and how much it costs. That is probably the biggest mistake. The reason being, it's basically an ad. Not to say that ads don't work, but there's a time and place for them. And most people do not come to social media just to get ads. They also want to get value. And what do I mean by value? They want to get educated. They want to be entertained. They want to feel like this person knows what they're talking about. They want to feel like this person knows who they are and understands them. So how do we do that with our content? Well, you need to have different content pillars or content buckets, whatever you want to call it. I personally like to use the term bucket. Some people like pillar. It's whatever you feel, okay? You need to have a bunch of different buckets. Now, there is no magic number as to how many you need to have. I personally like to do at least 5, but other people will say differently. Now, your content buckets are going to be different categories of content that you're going to post. And the easiest way to do that is to just look up content buckets, content pillars. Look up the content from successful people in your industry who are targeting some of the same people as you are. You can also look up content from your ideal clients. What are they posting? What are they into? And start to post some of the similar things. Now, for just about any VA or business, a few that would go over well for you, really regardless, would be obviously having a promo bucket. You do want to promote sometimes. You do want to talk about your services and what you do. Otherwise, there's really no point to all this. Now, the next one is education. Teach people. Become that expert. And the quickest way to become an expert in that field is to teach people. Isn't that what I'm doing right now? So teach people about what you do. Teach people about the industry that you have your ideal client in. Teach them about the services that you offer, not necessarily giving them a step-by-step, but tips and tricks. Let's go back to the podcast manager example. Let's say you're a podcast manager. Maybe you gave a carousel on Instagram about the top 5 places to host your podcast and why. That would be something that any person with a podcast would love to read. That's extreme value because maybe they're wondering the same thing. Now, with big, huge content buckets like education and promo, you can break those down further, and it might make it easier when it comes time to batch your content. So instead of just saying, okay, on Wednesdays, I'm going to educate, perhaps you say, okay, Wednesdays, I'm going to educate, but I'm going to come up with 8 different topics. I'm going to do one a week. And maybe your 8 topics, if you were a podcast manager, were the best platforms to post. And then you decided to start talking about the biggest mistakes that people make with their podcasts. Then you decided to talk about how much editing you should be doing, the softwares that you could use. Or maybe you even did a live tutorial. That's all content that would go over very well with your audience. You want to make sure that when they look at your profile, they know 3 things. 1, what you do. Number 2, they want to know that you're an expert. You know what you're doing. And number 3, they want to feel heard. They want to feel understood, that you get it. So without having an ideal client in mind, it's very hard to achieve that because you're trying to show the world and everyone in it and all of the business owners that you understand. And that can be pretty hard. But if you're targeting someone very specific, like a podcast manager, they know that you get it. That doesn't necessarily mean that those are the only people that you're ever going to work with, because you might have people that have podcasts now. You might have people that want to have a podcast in the future. And you might have people that just end up following you because they like your content and maybe they just need you for something else. Those are all plausible, but you want to make sure that you're giving that value so that when they follow you, they don't regret it and unfollow you later. Now, when it comes to posting and putting out your content and everything, one thing that you've probably heard a million times, and I am going to tell you again, is that short form video content is where it's at right now. Everybody likes short-term video content, okay? And what I mean by that is TikToks, Reels, we got shorts on YouTube, all of those different places. Facebook just had Reels out. Everybody likes it right now. That is the trend, and it doesn't seem to be going away. We went from just TikTok to all of the platforms having their own form of TikToks. So if you are on Instagram and you really want to take advantage, you need to get comfortable with doing reels. Now, I've talked to a lot of people and they've said, look, I do not want to do TikTok dances. I feel silly. I don't want to do it. You don't have to do those kind of things. And other people will tell me, well, I don't want to be that person that's just pointing all over and then I have to edit. You don't have to do that either. You can make reels and TikToks and shorts and all of these other short form video content by just talking, by just sharing about your day, sharing a quick story, sharing about things that you want people to learn about, sharing about your services. Those are all ways that you can do that short form video content and not be doing dances and not be doing all of the pointing. And if you're not comfortable with showing your face, because some people can get a little bit camera shy, you can record your voice and then do some editing in Canva. Now, this is a bit of a longer process, but if that's what you want to do, more power to you. Now, what I will say is that on your Instagram, if you're not going to be showing your face in your reels, you should at least show your face in your profile photo or in some of the photos that you post. This helps for people to realize that you are a real person and to put a face to the brand name. And that is what everybody wants there, okay? Unless you have a team. If you have a team, then it would make sense that you don't always just show your face, okay? Now, as we are getting to the end, because I have been rambling on about Instagram for VAs and freelancers and social media managers and business owners for a while now. How do you guys feel about your Instagram? Has it been growing? Are you getting any sort of traction? Do you have questions about hashtags or anything of the sort? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I am going to check the chat because one thing about the chat is that I can either see my stats or I can see the chat. So I have to click into it. I also have an entire cup of coffee that I haven't drank. So I'm gonna drop so I can see all of you guys in the chat. I just can't see your names. I think I just dropped it into the comments. So you just have to go to the Restream chat. And I'm actually going to click it now so I can see what it looks like. Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see. Okay. All right. So you guys can see this, hopefully. So this is our Facebook. This is where I'm going live. This is where I put the link. The link is chat.restream.io/Facebook. I can actually see all of your comments from all of the different platforms. The only catch is that I can't see your name. So if you want me to be able to see your name so that we can have like a conversation, all you have to do is go to the link and click allow Restream to show my name. It just needs your permission. It's a privacy thing. So everybody else can see your name, but if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. Perfectly okay. But all you have to do is click that and you should be good. So I'm going to stop the share. But that's how all that works. And I should be able to see your name. And if any of you do it, let me know, comment again. And I should be able to see you guys. And let me know if there are any questions, because I know a lot of you are on Instagram. And this was probably one of the most requested lives in the history of everything. Oh, Francesca did it. I see you. Should I post anything personal on my business Instagram? You definitely can. It really does depend on if you're going to be having a personal brand or a brand. Okay. I can't even think of the word, but essentially, if your business is going to use your name and you're going to be the only person in there, you're going to be doing a very personal connection with everyone. You're going to be speaking in, the first person and everything, then you might have a personal brand. If that's the case, you definitely can share personal things on your business Instagram. I wouldn't necessarily, share photos of you going out like on the town with your friends. That's up to you. But you can share things like, it's my wedding anniversary or, my favorite work buddy is my cat and you show a photo of that. Those are all ways to connect with your potential clients on a different level rather than just posting education and everything else. Now, if you're going for a regular brand, then it might not be the place, but that's really up to you. And I know that a lot of those questions end with it depends, but it really depends on the image that you want to show to other people. Dina did it too. Hi, Dina. Awesome. And honestly, I'm really, really new to Restream. This is only the second time that we've done this. So I'm not sure if you have to give permissions to Restream every time or one time. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out together. Exciting news, though, as we're getting to the end. I know if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments, but we are now at the time of the lesson where I'm just going to give you a little story time and a little update. But I actually just had a meeting with one of the people from Restream. She was really, really sweet. She told me about all of the different features and everything that they could help me with. And one thing that she said she could help me with is on TikTok. Obviously, I can already go live. I already hit that number of followers, but there is like a select diamond few that get to go live on TikTok from their desktop. Most of those people are gamers, but they get to go live on TikTok from their desktop. And she said that it's basically the streaming studios that have their own forms that you can apply to, and they help you talk to TikTok and get the permissions to go live from your desktop. So she is going to help me hopefully get permission, and that would be amazing because that means that even when we're going live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Instagram, we can also be live on TikTok, and that's where all of this started. So I think that's going to be awesome. And plus, if I can go live on TikTok, I should be able to also share my screen, which means that we can start really doing some in-depth tutorials on TikTok, which would be amazing. I know that I can position my phone like against my screen and things, but wouldn't it just be easier to screen share? I feel like that would be better. I was really excited about that. I was super pumped yesterday, so had to share it with somebody. Oh, I will tell you one thing about living in South Korea. It is so cold and so dry. I've never been in such a cold and dry place. The other day, I think it was like a degree out. Like one. Oh, and it is so dry. Everybody has humidifiers because you're just dying. I have to refill my humidifier every single day. That's how dry it is. Oh, it's not fun. I'm not a cold weather person. I know that I look really cute in this sweater, but it's not my place. What about entertaining reels and TikTok? Should they be tailored to what you offer, or can you just like do a fun one? You can definitely do both. If you want an example, look at my TikToks. I do a lot of TikToks, yes, about being a virtual assistant and teaching you guys things, but I also like to have a bit of fun with them. For a while before I did virtual assistant stuff, I did relationship advice. I forgot why I started doing that. I think it was like in response to another one, but I used to do those. So now I kind of do a mix. I do virtual assistant things. I do things about my life. I do relationship advice and just a little bit of kind of everything. And I also do some personal and just fun ones. I think my last reel on Instagram was just showing you guys like the last little trip that we took, and just, sorry for the hiatus, and I just needed a break, and people really like that. So you can definitely go any way about it. Just keep in the mindset that your ideal client might see that. And if you're okay with that, great. And if you're not, then that's a problem. Then that should be posted on your personal Instagram, not your business. If that makes sense. So if you want to convey like a very professional attitude, if you want to convey like a very definite look to your ideal clients, then you want to stay on the straight and narrow. If you want to convey more of just you're a person and you have all of these different interests and you think that you can help them and connect with them on a personal level, then sharing things from all over might help. Now, you won't necessarily find your ideal clients when you're doing that kind of thing. You might, but you're less likely to. It's just kind of up to you on how you want to connect with those people. Yes, it was very, very cold. Very, very, very cold. Super cold, in fact. Looks like we are having there we go. Okay. Making sure that we're actually live from everywhere, because this is the first time I think that our live on YouTube is actually going out. Last time I still needed to wait a bit for the permissions. So if you see me on YouTube, let me know. I think we're here. I just have to go back and add in the title and everything else. And I will actually be adding in YouTube videos that aren't just lives. It's just a matter of, I need to finish creating our intro. And I am very anal about that. I'm a super perfectionist. I know I shouldn't be, but I am. So creating the YouTube thumbnails and the intros and the little outro, is that week? I don't know. The ending where it shows the little cards is very hard for me because I'm a super perfectionist. So it's coming, I promise. I also have a lot of homework to do because your girl's still in grad school. However, as long as all goes well, I will be graduating in February, and then I will have more time and more sanity. So wish me luck. Now, with that being said, before I hop off for the day, are there any other, I'm about to say it again, my team tells me I say this way too much, but questions, comments, concerns that you guys have about me, about your Instagram, about being a VA, about really anything that you guys want to know? I am all ears. I think that one of our lives, someone asked me my favorite candy. So that is perfectly fine too. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I am so crazy because they have given me an option to apply for a second master's. And I'm thinking about it. The only reason why I'm thinking about it, let me preface this by saying it wouldn't be an entire other degree. It wouldn't be like more and more years. It would actually, with their programs, you can get related masters and just do a few extra classes, and then you'd have 2 instead of 1. So I could go to college for another, I think it was like 20 weeks and have 2 masters. Yeah. So it's tempting. It is, because I'd have a master's in business and a master's in science. So we'll see. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the doctorate. However, I really don't want to write a thesis. That is my main thing. I really don't want to write a thesis. I've had so many people now that have told me that I need to write a book. And I'm like, look, I won't even write a thesis. What makes you think that I want to write a book? I've thought about it before, but I think I never really get past the first 10 pages. Then I'm just like, nobody wants to read this. I don't even know what I'm doing. So yeah. I'm thinking about the doctorate. My husband definitely wants me to do it because he took my last name. Well, we hyphenated, but mine's last. So that's what everybody says. But yeah, so we're the Stanturp Elkies. So, but everyone just kind of shortens it to Elkies. So, I mean, I want him to get it after it. He can get it. And I can just take credit. It's really good. This is such good coffee. My team knows I sent them coffee for Christmas. And one of my team members was like, okay, I'm going to try it now. And she understands because Korean coffee is great. It's A1. Yeah, he took my last name. I think I live streamed my wedding a while back because a lot of you guys wanted to attend. I wanted you to attend. So if you ever do want to bawl your eyes out and see me bawl my eyes out, go to Facebook. Yeah, fun fact, when I cry, my nose runs. So it's not the prettiest thing to happen on your wedding day, but it happens. So, so if you ever really want to get very close, go see that. But thank you. I definitely will stay warm. We are staying inside. COVID cases have been crazy over here. Unfortunately, my husband has COVID, but we're long distance. We don't really live together for a lot of reasons, but he is at his base in quarantine with COVID. I've been tested. My family here has been tested. All of us are negative, but just got to wait it out. He's taking his medicine and sleeping a lot. So I will keep everybody updated. We're all going to stay warm and try to stay healthy. I hope that you guys are too. I don't know if it's cold there, but stay comfortable and stay safe, please. And work on your journey. I always tell everyone in my mentoring sessions, the surefire way to make sure that you get things done is to break it down into very small, very actionable steps. Do not tell yourself you're just going to become a VA. Figure out the specific things that you need to do, starting out with your legalities. Your legalities is registering your business, selecting your contract, selecting your invoicing system, and figuring out how to pay taxes. You want to make sure that you do those 4 first. Those are probably the easiest steps. Once you get there, you're going to feel so empowered to do the rest. And I will see you guys again next week. We are going to be talking about, I had it written down somewhere. I will post it in the chat. I'm actually going to be planning out the next few months. So you guys just keep an eye on the events tab of the Facebook group. I'm also going to be posting about it in the Discord and on the Twitch. And I can't really do it on YouTube, but you guys will see.